Ashport, a city on the brink. The winds of the restless sea are thick with the soot and grime of progress. The continent of Valdara is a world of adventure and magic, and this land of kings, of monsters, of heroes, is being dragged kicking and screaming into a modern age. Crime lords battle for control of the city's underbelly, and the common people struggle for survival. All the while, politicians congratulate themselves on being a testament to enlightenment. The Birchfield Institute, a shining beacon through the smoke, leads the way, merging science and magic to improve the lives of those who can afford it. The divide between the common and privileged is growing wider, day by day. Eager to shed Ashport's uncivilized past, the powers that be dismiss adventurers and heroes as mere mercenaries, charlatans, pirates. Only a select few, through sheer nerve and talent, become sanctioned by the Institute to recover ancient knowledge and artifacts for study and safekeeping.
Fresh from our induction to the Proctors, and after a quick rest, we set out into the Colmar Forest in search of the elemental grimoire. Our initial attempts at deciphering the riddle hidden on our maps led us to a location called the Dead Drake's Chambers, and when we arrived, instead of finding the entrance to the unending chasm, all we found was a very irritated flail snail, which are incredible creatures due to the inherent magical properties in their shell.
Bonnie?
Which unfortunately also meant that we had a lot of trouble in bringing it down, and upon its demise, I was left saddened. The noise, that will haunt me forever. It turned out that we'd guessed the wrong location, so after the chambers, we headed to the Drake's Tears waterfall, my first choice for the chasm's entrance. Yes, it's just like the stories, but stories, even fairy tales, have purpose and meaning, and if they didn't have any importance, then no one would have bothered writing them down, or telling them in the first place.
Yes, you were right.
Luckily, it was exactly where we needed to go, and while we had a few mishaps trying to climb up the cliffside, at the top we discovered a long untouched ancient stone staircase leading deep into the earth and bringing me to the start of a whole new adventure with my friends, allies, co-workers? I'll figure that out later.
So let's do a quick recap. You guys are on the edge of the cave that is leading you down some stairs behind the waterfall of Drake's Tears. You're facing a staircase, an ancient kind of carved staircase that leads down into what you've been referred to as the never-ending chasm. You pull out your map and take a look at it, and the first stop is titled Smushtown. SMUSHTOWN question mark. It also says friendly question mark. And that you will need to get through that, guided into the next section, which is a little vague, which will take you into the secondary tier, which is called...
Hey, Logan.
What?
Can you just say never-ending chasm a couple times?
The never-ending chasm. The stairs down to the never-ending chasm.
The never-ending chasm?
The never-ending chasm.
All the intonations.
The never-ending chasm?
Poisonous fish.
Bog of eternal stench.
Okay, all right. So does all Monty Python count as one, or do different references
It's one reference
matter?
from Holy Grail. I think it's each individual IP.
That wasn't Holy Grail. That was a skit.
I'm used Holy Grail as a reference, so each individual thing. So Flying Circus counts as an entire entity.
But by itself. So that was Flying Circus.
Right, it's not one skit per joke. Like, you can't just go through an entire episode and do
Yeah,
it.
No, but that's fine. But Flying Circus is separate from Life of Brian, which is separate. Okay. So that's good. So it's for those that don't know, and I don't think anybody knows because we're making it official here. We have a rule that you can only reference a movie once per session, or a in this case a skit show. And we haven't quite figured out what the penalty will be for doing it again. So as of right now, what's going to happen is if I'm the offender, then the next person to roll a die will get advantage. And then if any of the players are the offenders, then I will get advantage on my next roll. Yes?
I had a terrible idea.
Oh, I love terrible ideas.
It's a terrible, no good idea. Very meta.
Why are you helping him?
Oh, because I want to see
Teacher,
what
can I have homework?
happens. I want to have to roll on the wild magic table when you break that rule.
Oh, that would be amazing.
How about this?
That is exactly
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
So, but that means that for me to give, because even if I rolled on it, it's still amazing it's bad for you probably. So that would mean that there would still need to be something so instead of giving you just advantage, I would give you a D8 inspiration die instead in exchange for that. So I think that's good. So if and again, it's one reference for the entire thing. So if I make the reference or you make the reference, doesn't matter who makes the next reference. That's the point. So that's it. So flying circus has been done today. If we make another flying circus, somebody, and this doesn't count, somebody does a hello Polly or that's all. Or spam reference. There, I've got two. Then that's it. So if you guys will get a D8 inspiration, one of you can use, or I get a roll in the wild magic chart against you guys.
I think
love
you
it.
could roll on the treasure chart personally.
And that's my favorite thing because I love rolling on random charts. It is absolutely my favorite part of D&D.
I was definitely playing towards your interest.
I fucking hate that chart. There's a reason I never play wild mages.
Logan, I will send you the gigantic wild magic table that I have. It has thousands of cells on it. It's real big.
Is it 5e balanced?
I don't think so.
All right. I can play with it.
Sure.
Okay, so that sounds like a lot of fun. At least we'll try for a little while. And we'll kind of go from there.
Oh boy.
I just assume we have some sort of reference Nazi fairy running around, some fae that doesn't like references and is just punishing us.
So you guys are heading down this staircase into the never-ending chasm.
I break into chant. Hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to Smushville we go.
Smushtown.
So nice, they named it twice.
Smushtown.
It's either adorable or dirty.
So you guys come down.
Let me smoosh.
You broke him.
You guys come down the staircase, and it kind of opens up into a larger cavern. And this cavern is lit with kind of this bioluminescent fungus that's kind of growing on a lot of things. Gives kind of a shadowy appearance to everything, a shadowy illumination to everything. And you guys continue through this chasm, following the map as best as you can. It's about an hour later before you guys start to see kind of signs of life. And the first thing you notice is that there's these large they're a fungus, they're like a mushroom, but it's not like a capped mushroom. It's like those ones that grow kind of wide and long and in stripes or strips, and layers on top of it up against the walls that kind of grow out from the wall. And it's on all the walls in here, both left and right, but not really on the floors or the stalactites or stalagmites. It's only on the walls. It only goes up about 6 to 8 feet, but it is along both walls, and they are thick and they look kind of juicy, like they're kind of squishy, and you can get a liquid out of them, like they're just dripping mildly, and they're this dark red purple color. And on the ground, you could see all the way against the walls, there's like stained red and purple kind of colors along each wall. And you guys continue to walk for a while, and as you walk closer and closer to, your destination, they seem to get thicker and larger until you come around into another cavern, and you see that they've been scraped off the wall in strips. There's this whole section from the bottom all the way up that's missing. You can see where they were on the wall and just kind of been scraped off, but about 30 feet of this wall is just missing, and it's a very clean kind of cut, not perfectly clean, but I mean it's like there was a tool used to kind of scrape it off the wall up to a certain point, and then it continues again, and they're growing off the wall about a foot at the biggest point.
I'd like to investigate to see if a giant 30-foot tongue licked the wall.
No licking, but you do definitely see tool marks against the wall. It looks like some sort of tool, maybe about 18 inches to 24 inches wide, was used to scrape up the wall to kind of pull this stuff off, almost like a snow shovel sort of tool.
Can I go and like smell it or inspect it to like see if it's poisonous or anything like that, or if it's edible?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
give me
can I
nature
do a
check.
nature check?
Sure. Are you both
I am.
proficient?
No.
Okay, so you can assist her with your proficiency. So go ahead and give me a roll.
Assistance. That means I get advantage, right?
Correct, yes.
I will take my first one, which was a 10. So 10 plus 1. No, well, and then I get, because I'm a bard, I have Jack of all trades, so that's actually is 13.
So you kind of go over, you kind of smell the wall a little. You lean in and you kind of like brush your hand on it a little bit, and it's kind of not thick, but it stains your hands a little bit. Not like it's something that can't come off, but it's just kind of a very deep red kind of almost juice. And you kind of like sniff it, and it smells kind of sweet, but earthy.
I'm gonna lick it.
It tastes interesting. It tastes kind of like a very musty, earthy sort of vinaigrette, but without the kind of vinegar tint to it. It's just kind of like there's just something. Yeah, there's no vinegar. Not a bite of vinegar. It's just kind of a little sweet and
Just gret.
This is actually kind of tasty. I don't know how long we're going to be down here. Did anyone think to bring provisions?
I have rations.
Yes, I did.
Did you forget to bring rations?
No, I have a couple days worth, but I'm thinking that if we need extra stuff, this isn't a terrible idea.
Why don't we give it like an hour, and if you start seeing things, maybe we don't do that.
oh my god.
For the record, Bonnie is not on lookout for a while if we have to rest.
Seriously.
Let us know when you're peeking.
I was going to say, while we're walking around, Adelaide's going to sort of be keeping an eye out around us for any
Ditto
followers or
or
anything like that.
Yeah, so just since I didn't mention it before, I forgot. The Canyon of Fur is the next location you'll be going to after this one. And it's, there's some little hash marks that like look like little fur just kind of surrounding that area. It's kind of strange. But that'll be the next area you're trying to get to, but there's no real clear indication of how to get from one to the next. So maybe something in Smushtown is going to help you get there. Hint, hint. Okay, so you guys are continuing along. You come up to this next cavern, and again, these mushrooms are growing exactly 8 feet up, roughly. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's it's 8
Exactly,
feet,
roughly.
give or take an inch. It looks very weird, them just growing along this line, almost like they were put there on purpose, or they're cultivated to do that. And you get towards this next area, this cavern, and you hear some sort of horrid whistling in the next area. It sounds very much like like it's a tune of some kind, like somebody is casually whistling, but it's just this just horribly out of tune song that nobody's heard.
Logan, is it just hi-ho?
Not hi-ho. We do not offend our mouse overlord.
That is the second Snow White reference.
It is the second Snow White reference.
It was a reference. No, it was a. Okay, all right. So we need to decide whether we're doing additional reference or I was referencing Mike. Like I was making a joke
so
about the
callbacks
joke.
don't count.
She wasn't making a reference. She was referencing the reference.
Right.
Callbacks, yes.
That's what a callback
Fine,
is.
be that way.
Very nuanced
That
rules
is
for
Logan's
this.
second reference of our mouse overlord this session.
Again, That was a callback to the callback.
It's not
Still just,
It's not a specific movie, though.
This is quoting... Specifically, I think this is more quoting movies. Or videos or things. We'll get there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to force us to have to make a code.
Oh no, that's okay. We're gonna need to because people will hold us accountable. They're like, wait a second, you guys made this reference. You owe them.
Yeah.
All right, so you hear this whistling from the next cavern over.
Adelaide's gonna try to be as quiet as possible.
Yep.
As we move forward.
So you guys kind of start peeking around the corner there, and you see this short little kind of light green-skinned creature wearing kind of overalls and no other shirt or anything, and he's got some boots on, and he's got a big kind of floor scraper looking tool, and he's kind of scraping up the wall and then scooping up the bits and putting them into this wheelbarrow. And then he takes the bits over to this wagon, and he starts scraping everything up into this wagon he's got there.
Does he look like a gnome?
No, does not look like a gnome. More goblinish.
Merrick is going to attempt to stealth up to this goblinoid person.
Okay, give me a check. We'll go ahead and do a resisted check here. Your stealth versus my perception.
Good luck.
I got a 22.
You know what? I'm gonna give him disadvantage since he was whistling. Oh, Jesus. So I have +3. I got a 21 with an 18. I would have tied you with the other one. That was a good roll. So he just barely does not see you. He's just whistling, and his ears kind of twitch a little bit, but he just doesn't turn around as he's continuing to scrape and whistle off the wall.
So Merrick's going to walk up behind him and in his ear ask, "Who rules Smushtown?"
Oh my God! What? Oh! And he kind of turns around. He's got his scraper. He's holding it like a weapon, and he's looking at you. Who are you?
I'm Merrick. Looking for Smushtown.
Smushtown. What about it?
Smushtown. Evidently we're supposed to obtain some assistance there, getting across a particular.
The Canyon of Fur? You're trying to get to the Canyon of Fur. Why?
It's more of a stopping point on the way somewhere. We're on a journey.
It's a very dangerous place.
No doubt.
Many of us get eaten there.
Why?
Because of the fur things.
What are they?
They're fur things. Are you alone?
At the moment?
Yeah, seriously. Val steps out at that point and says no.
Oh! There's all sorts of you.
Hi.
Yep.
At that point, I'll step out.
And Bonnie does actually wave.
I'll approach him and hold out my hand and say, "I'm Arthur."
Yeah, looks at your hand. It's a very nice hand.
I'll move it up and down.
So he takes his hand. He just moves it up and down in front of him. Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Well met.
We're not here to cause trouble. We're just passing through, but we need some directions to the Canyon of Fur.
Well, why don't we get to town, then we can talk.
Sounds good.
I need some smush wine.
Oh, gross.
All right. So Logan, I'm assuming that this is going really, really slowly if we let him push the cart.
Yeah, he's moving maybe 5 to 10 feet around.
Oh, hell no. Okay. Val's gonna step in. I can push this if you want, so we can get there a little faster.
So he kind of steps back and motions for you to go ahead and take over. And he kind of moves to the front to steer it. You can get the idea that he was going to have to push it a ways, then move to the front and turn it so it would steer correctly, and then push it a ways and move to the front and steer it. So yeah, as you push it, he steers, and you guys make fairly good headway. 2 more large caverns like this. Obviously, as you're getting the idea that these are their fields, their crops, and you move into the last area. It opens up, and there's this large 15-foot wide wood rope bridge that goes across a kind of small chasm, maybe about 30 feet. And you kind of start going over this bridge. It's actually in fairly good repair, being their only means of getting to their crops. And then in front of you, there's this like 3-tiered village with think of it like an underground Ewok village. There's just all sorts of rope bridges, wooden rope bridges going between different towers and things. But he's taking you over to the left side. You would guess there's maybe 200 or 300 goblinoid creatures here. And he take you over to what looks like the largest building here, which is actually just kind of a covered structure that's open air, and you see these long line of vats and people taking and kind of sorting these bits of mushroom, of fungus, and then going over and loading them into these vats. And these goblins are several goblins in each vat are sitting there just stomping on this fungus, and the juices are being kind of released underneath it, which are then taken by bucket over to another vat. And he goes over, pushes the cart, you help him push the cart up to the thing, and you get a lot of side glances, but you don't seem to be the only visitors they seem to get, so they don't seem to be, at least as of right now, worried about you. And he talks to the person there, the foreman, and collects a little money and comes over and says, "All right, let's go get some drinks."
Adelaide wants to take a second to look at the cart that he was using,
Sure.
the one that he had to actually literally turn manually, and just sort of observe how they built it. She's gonna just sort of think about how that could maybe get made a little more efficient.
Okay.
It just sort of was grating at her brain watching that.
Yeah, it seems like it's built to be used by some sort of beast of burden, but not in any traditional way. But they obviously don't have any beasts to use. It looks more like it's instead of it being like a harness that would go on the sides or something goes in between, it looks like it may sit on top of something. And yeah, they just don't have anything.
Okay. I'll bring it up later. She's gonna muse on that for a bit.
So you guys head over to another smaller structure. He heads in, and these are all small-sized buildings. So all of you tall people have to duck to get into the building. The ceilings are probably about half a foot lower than the top of your head. So you're kind of like just hunched on everything, and you're sitting in the chairs is like going to a preschool and trying to sit in the chairs there. So is anybody a small creature?
Yes.
Yeah, so Merrick is fine.
Yeah, Val's gonna just sit cross-legged on the floor because she doesn't want to break the chair.
The chairs do seem pretty sturdy. They think they may. So anyway, this is a bar establishment. This is obviously some sort of tavern. Looks very much like a lot of taverns you've seen before. There's a bar and some tables and things. Several goblinoid creatures are sitting around drinking all sorts of different spirits. But the one thing they seem to have the most of is this sort of mugs of this kind of purplish, dark red liquid, which you're coming to understand is smush wine.
Have we ever heard of this before?
You've never no, you've never
Like
heard
they
of
don't
it before?
export it?
They not to the surface. So you're sitting there, and he looks at Val for the help and says, "First round's on me. What do you want?"
Well, since it's the local specialty, I'll try the smush wine.
Oh, excellent choice. Anyone else?
I'll try
One
some.
for me too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 smush ones. So he goes up and puts some more money on the counter, and he pulls out several little tiny, maybe wooden nickels. The bartender comes over and like counts up the little wooden discs. Oh, you're due. Excellent. And he puts it down and pops up 6 smush wines, pours out this liquid out of these, again, not wooden, more like gourd looking pitchers, and pours out this liquid into 6 of these.
Because it's currency, Merrick could be very interested in this exchange and see if he might be able to like get a closer look at what these things are.
So as you see these interesting little currency pop up on the counter, you go up to them, and on each one of them looks hand-painted a little tiny gourd on one side that looks like the picture that you saw. And on the other side, it's got the little symbol of what looks to be like a little mug with an M in it, which you recognize as the symbol that was on the outside of this building. And as you kind of pay attention to these sorts of things, you start to put two and two together, and you notice that he had 5 of them, and he just ordered 6 smush wines, but he only paid for what appears to be 1. Or no, 1, 2, 3. He paid for 4 of the 5, or 5 of the 6 smush wines. And so he grabs up the mugs, and he comes over to the table and plops them down. So, why are you needing to go to the Canyon of Fur?
Well, like I said, it's but a waypoint on our journey.
So where are you trying to get to?
Further down and further in.
A dangerous place.
Is there a place called Further Down and Further In?
Well, it's 2 places. Further down and further in.
Oh, it's the Valley of Fur. Well, that makes sense.
No, these are a lot farther.
Farther, not further. Is that a different place?
Fartherton is.
What's your name?
Bugnut.
Bugnut.
Logan, did you say bug nut or lug nut?
No, Pugnut.
Pugnut.
I just wanted to make sure I wrote it down correctly.
Right. Like the things you remove from your pug.
Wow.
Oh no.
So this is obviously, well, you haven't tried it before, but this is a fermented version of what I described earlier. It tastes very much like a just very musty, very tanniny wine. It's a little bitter, but in a good way.
In game, Arthur takes his cup and just downs the whole drink.
Adelaide's gonna bust out her book and start sketching a little and sipping the wine rather than downing it.
And you'll see different people are drinking it differently. Some people sip it, some people chug it. It seems very personal preference with how it's drunk.
It's very good.
We're trying to get to a place called Death's Cavern.
Never heard of it.
Huh.
That's why we need to go through the Canyon of Fur. That's all.
But why?
Exploration?
That seems stupid.
Adventure.
That seems even more stupid.
Overworlders can be a little dumb.
Well, there is that.
Treasure.
Ooh, treasure. See, now you're getting somewhere. You want treasure. I got that. All right, so let me think about this. Just then you hear some clamoring outside, and somebody, another goblin comes in. This is a woman, and she's seems like she's kind of like she's really upset, and she comes in and comes with the bartender, and she's kind of crying a little bit, and a couple people start to kind of mill around to go see what's going on, and Pugnut jumps up and just runs over there real quick to kind of listen to what she's talking about.
Does anybody speak Goblin?
Are they speaking common or are they...
They're speaking Goblin.
Oh.
Everyone be mindful that our little friend now knows we're after something valuable. I think the price for his help might go up.
He's not willing to go into the valley.
Oh, I just mean he might ask for more for directions.
Yeah, possibly.
Just being aware.
I wonder what's happening over there. They look really upset.
So a couple of minutes later, Pugnut comes back and just kind of flops in his chair. He takes a real big, long swig off of his drink, and he just,
What's wrong?
Something's wrong, I assume?
Yes, we have a creature that, well, we usually leave it alone, and it leaves us alone, but evidently, well, it killed someone.
Well, that's no good.
Out in the fields, right near where we were working.
Right near where you were working? Like where we met you?
Well, it's close to there, yeah. I mean, we knew that it has its home there. Not there, but like down a cave, and it's never come out before, but maybe it was hungry.
What is it?
Oh, it's called a Pintron.
Is that anything that rings a bell?
Sounds like a name of a folk legend creature type thing.
Oh, one of those. Yeah, they're terrible.
Oh, you know about it. It's scary.
Yeah, it's got the big and, those things. It's...
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
It's...
And the smell.
You got it.
So, Mr. Nut, would it...
Pugnut. That's my whole first name.
Oh. Pardon me. Pugnut. Could it be said that we could maybe solve this monster problem for you, for knowledge on how to get to our next place?
You think you can kill a Pintron?
We're pretty big.
Well, you are pretty big. But he's much bigger.
Merrick seems pretty knowledgeable about them.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Adelaide will point at him.
Merrick, is that your name? You never told me.
I did. It was like one of the first things that I did after startling you.
Maybe the rest of you didn't tell me your names. Somebody didn't tell me anything.
Oh, I did remember this, and I'll do the air shake again.
Slide a hand to move his glass further away from him.
He's holding it. He's not letting it go.
Sleight of hand to move his glass further away from him.
With his hand attached to it, he just doesn't notice.
Another 18. That's 21 for me again.
I got a 16 on the die.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think you have a +5 yet, though.
I do have a +5, so it's 21.
So he matches. So he does see you. He's like, you start to reach over, and he doesn't catch it till like the last second. He's like, back off.
I'm Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie. Anyway. And Val?
Val.
Adelaide.
Adelaide. That's a fun name. There's a lot of syllables in that.
It's like addle-addle.
Addle. Anyway, sorry. He takes another sip. Yeah. I would say if you could kill a Pintron, then I would be very happy to send you on your way.
Are there more than one, or just...
Oh no, a Pintron's a creature all unto itself. That we know of.
A pack animal.
I hope there's not more than one. I mean, my God. So big with the little spindly thing and the big things. Yeah, Merrick can describe it for you.
Yeah, and the smells.
Yeah, that's pretty right on there. Yeah.
Merrick might not have seen any down here before, though. Is there anything special we should know about
Oh, does Merrick know what kind of creature it is?
Right. It's got a mouth.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Eats things. Mm-hmm. It likes the dark.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I don't know.
You should ask Siri or Alexa.
Alexa,
what is a Pintron?
Pinterest is a scrapbooking website.
Usually defined as any of several coins of Rome, coined in bronze or later copper, or the equivalent value.
I think this might be a song thing. We're only allowed to play Alexa for like 30 seconds before we have to start paying Amazon royalties.
Slightly better than an 8.
Not when she chirps in unannounced. Stupid bitch.
Just when you hope she lost her voice.
Excuse me, Kyle. Get bent.
So, Pugnut, maybe you could just describe it in better detail.
Oh, well, I've never seen it, but it's, everyone describes it the same way.
Got a mouth?
Big. With a mouth.
Big with a mouth. Well, they go, ah! And then, pinch, and then run.
Oh my god.
It's brilliant.
This definitely sounds like something we can handle.
A pinch run. Oh my god.
The ones that I've been familiar with have had a variety of appearances. Is there anyone who's actually seen this creature?
Nope, don't think so. It's not here.
It sounds like a crab, but maybe larger.
Well, it's got, I think they say that it has 8 legs and it's big and white. And it's got like 2 big pinchers.
Is it like furry or
no fur? Like hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like stone. Right. Like made out of stone.
Like a big crab. Yeah.
Sure. And it's got like all these little things around its mouth, and it shoots out a thingy and it grabs you. Some people have called him a cave fisher.
All right.
Anyway, I could show you where he is if you want to, just go in there and take care of him.
Yeah.
As payment.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, Pugnut. I think we have an agreement.
Excellent. All right. He slams the rest of his thing. I'm gonna be a hero. Let's go. Hello, everyone. This is Logan, your DM du jour. Thank you for choosing this podcast to listen to today. We really appreciate you, and we really love having you guys here. We get excited when we get feedback, so we just really want to thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast. We have a little bit of housekeeping and to do here, so I would like to go ahead and get started so we can get you back to the action. All of the music is brought to you by Artlist.io. You can get your own royalty-free music subscription by going to bit.ly/nerdsongs. That will take you to the Artlist page where you can sign up, and with that, you will get 2 free months on your 1-year subscription to Artlist.io for all of your royalty-free music needs. Next, I'd like to talk to you about NatureBox. NatureBox is an amazing website that if you listen to any other podcast, I'm sure you've heard of. We also work with NatureBox to bring you great, amazing tasting snacks such as Big Island Pineapple, Asiago and Cheddar Cheese Crisp, White Cheddar Caramel Popcorn, Whole Wheat Vanilla Animal Cookies, Sweet and Simple Berry Nut Mix, Nacho Lime Tortilla Chips, and my wife's favorite, the Thin and Crispy Meyer Lemon Cookies, only rivaled by the Dark Choco Nom Noms. Those are her 2 favorites. I personally like the garlic plantains and the salt and vinegar veggie chips. Any of those snacks are all available through NatureBox and gets delivered directly to your door, so you have an amazing sampler little platter of food and snacks, and they're healthy and they don't have any of the extra crap that a lot of the store-bought snacks have in them. So you should go and check them out. Go give them a try. You can go to nerdsmith.org/snack, which will get you a special discount right off the bat. If you sign up for their membership, you get another discount, and if you use the discount code 33, that's 30 spelled out THIRTY, and then number 33, you will get 30% off your first 3 orders. And I believe you still get a 14-day free membership plus free shipping on orders over $25. It's an insane amount of value right up front. That's nerdsmith.org/snack. So go give it a try. We really appreciate it. Every time someone uses that link to sign up, you are supporting this show. Next, I'd like to talk to you about Nerdsmith. Nerdsmith is our network that we are on. There's some amazing other shows on there you should check out. We've got Chaotic Goodness, which is a Uncharted Worlds actual play podcast. We've got Dear DM, which is a D&D advice podcast with Joe Collins. Lawful Stupid, which is another actual play podcast. They're brand new to the network. Really great guys. Threads in the Veil, which is our sister podcast that is an audio drama. Go and check that one out. Charm and Trouble, which is Tess and Heather from this podcast. They do a bard singing naughty song sort of thing. We've got Dungeon Maestro, which is the infamous and famous Aiden Chan over there composing music for Critical Role, and Monster Melodies, which is a new product that he's putting out just for us, where he creates theme music for each of the monsters in the Monster Manual. Married to the DM, which is my wife's and mine podcast, where we talk about relationship and gaming. WAND Radio, which is 3 characters who are on a college radio station at a magic college inside of our podcast. So it's an advice show inside of a comedy show inside of a podcast. crosswords with Will Crossweight from Cantata Pansophical. Heather also does a show called Geek Thyself, which is an educational podcast with a topic of the week. And then, of course, this show, Shenanigoons. We are always looking for new and exciting shows. If there are other shows out there that you would like to see on this network, let them know. We're always looking for unique, fun, and amazing people that might want to join our network and become a part of our family. In addition, if you would like to become a part of the show, you can tweet with the hashtag Shenanigoons. And every time we record an episode, I'll be looking at that hashtag, and I will be looking for people to use their names as NPCs within the game. You can directly tweet at Shenanigoons or Nerdsmith with ideas for people, places, things, items, magical items, and we will take a look at them and possibly use them in the show as well. So there's lots of ways to kind of become involved, and when you do that, you'll get a little thank you here from me. So that is Nerdsmith, that is this, that is that. So let's get back to the hilarity and a pinch run. He goes with you, takes you back to the fields where you guys originally walked into the city, across the bridge, the 30-foot bridge, and he takes you into the caverns, the fields, and through a few smaller tunnels you didn't really see before because they were kind of hidden, not on purpose, just it's a big rocky area, it's hard to see everything. And he takes you down to another field, another large field like the ones you saw before. This one is almost completely scraped everywhere. You see a wagon there that's been knocked on its side, all of its contents spilling out, and it looks like there's some sort of tussle over there. And he goes, that cave right there. It's down there somewhere.
How's the lighting down here?
It's shadowy. You can see shadowy pretty much everywhere, because of the luminescent stuff.
Okay.
If you don't have dark vision, then you're going to be at disadvantage on your attack rolls. If you have dark vision, then you can see normally for 60 feet.
Okay. I'm going to light a torch.
That'll give you good vision for 40 feet, I think.
It's 20 and 20, yeah.
Yeah. So you got normal vision for 40 feet now.
To the monster!
So you guys start heading down this long cave, and you get to this area that looks like kind of an entrance to a lighter colored rock area. Like there's a lot of lighter grays and white stones through this cavern. You see, like outside of this cave, like bones and the remaining fragments of clothing and things left over from victims. So you're pretty sure you're in the right area here. Mostly they're just other look like other cave creatures, like there's some bat husks and things. But you do see some fresh remains of some sort of like little maybe some sort of pellet. Like an owl pellet just left there. It's about small creatures, a little smaller than small creature sized.
Who wants to go first?
Bonnie draws her rapier.
Bow out.
So you guys slowly start making your way through the cave. What is everyone's passive perception?
12.
14.
9.
12.
So you guys are just slowly working your way through this cave. You're looking everywhere, just trying to keep your wits about you. You get to what you almost think is the end of this cave. You can kind of see about 60 feet in front of you, and it looks like it's just kind of an opening, opens up a little bit into kind of a larger circular area, and it just kind of seems to end. There's nothing more to look at. And just then, this string of gooey material falls from the ceiling, grabbing Bonnie. And it's this long kind of strand that is coming out of. You look up and you see on the ceiling, about 50 feet above you, is this this medium-sized kind of crab-like creature with these strange, thin claws, and coming out of its kind of mouth thing is this filament, this kind of gooey filament that has come down and attached itself to Bonnie, which sticks instantly.
Ugh.
Okay, so Adelaide, you're going to start us off.
Okay. Just gonna try to shoot it with an arrow.
All right, so you're going to turn up to it. You get this kind of heart-racing feeling, knowing that this creature has been above you, maybe walking with you this entire time, waiting for its moment. Obviously, it saw the vulnerability, decided that it could take you, and that you were food, and has attacked. You draw your weapon and train it on it and let fly.
Is it still dark? Am I? I can't see in the dark, so
because of Arthur's light source, you are at normal attack.
Okay, great. 15 to hit.
15, no. So it just bounces off its chitinous hide, and doesn't seem to be affected.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I got right now.
Okay. So Adelaide probably curses a little under her breath.
Yep.
A little frustrated that her attack missed, and we move on to Bonnie.
Being grabbed by this thing, Bonnie is real not happy and just lashes out with her words and says, "You'll rue the day your mother ever spawned you," and casts vicious mockery on it.
Nice.
So I need to get a wisdom save.
As a child, Bonnie's parents were always telling her to use your words, Bonnie, use your words.
Bard. I love it. Wisdom save, Logan?
That would be a 4.
Okay, so you will take 4 points of psychic damage.
So the entire creature kind of just shudders a little bit as it's hit with this psychic attack.
It also has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes.
All right.
Which is good, because it's its turn.
It is now a pinch run. A pinch run is going to reel in its filament, pulling Bonnie up to it. I need a strength saving throw as you try to resist.
I rolled a 17, so that's a 19.
All right, so you hold fast to the ground. It's got this filament just kind of holding you there in place, but you are able to kind of dig yourself in and hold on to a rock nearby and prevent yourself from being pulled up this turn.
Okay, I'm going to use, it is within 60 feet of me, I assume, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to use Toll the Dead. Let's see, so I need a wisdom save.
If it misses Mike, it's your cue for Foley.
15.
Okay, so it makes the save, so nothing happens, unfortunately, because cantrip.
Not if it fails.
Jesus. So how far away from me is Bonnie?
She's probably right next to you, 5-10 feet.
Not doing it as like a grapple or anything, or like a strength check, but just can I get, as my move action, can I get my hands on Bonnie to try to keep her from getting pulled in next time?
You need to be able to use the assist action, so no, unfortunately it won't help. That's not how the system works, because you used your action to do your spell. So the most you can just move near her, but you won't have an opportunity to affect her chances.
Okay, fair enough, but I'll be right there so that I can try to help on my next turn. Sounds good.
Okay. Merrick.
Merrick is going to attempt to interpose one of his larger friends in between him and the cave fisher and bonus action hide. A 23.
23 hits?
That's a
no,
hide.
23 is hiding.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. Okay, so you do appear to have hidden from this creature.
Okay.
It does not make any indication that it has seen your move.
Okay, and then I will attack.
I just have this great image of Adelaide with her bow out and then Merrick behind her with his shorter bow. It's just a lot of...
That is a 16 to hit.
16 hits, so yeah, that's
right, sweet.
16 hits.
We found it.
It's a D6, and I get sneak attack because I was hidden. So
All right,
3d6 plus 3.
16 16.
Oh, dang. That is 12 points of damage. Piercing.
Okay, 12?
12 points of damage, yep.
So yeah, your arrow goes up and kind of sticks in between two of the folds, or the overlap in its chitinous hide, and it just obviously kind of twitches against that side, and is obviously not happy with that. Obviously that hit it pretty hard, and I'll say obviously one more time. There we go.
Thank you.
Obviously it was hard. Obviously.
Thank you.
Arthur.
So, is this within melee attack range, or is it ranged?
There's a gross tongue thing.
There is a gross tongue thing. Filament. It's called a filament.
Its name is Phil.
Oh, you named him. Now we're attached. We can't, like...
I am attached, clearly.
Now.
Yeah, you're attached. It's a leash.
There you go.
Go for walkies. Walkies.
Alright, so if there's something I can hit
there's the
with
filament.
melee attack, I shall do so. I'm going to run up. I'm going to set the torch down. Cast, as I'm running up, I'm going to use a bonus action to cast a Branding Smite on my war pick. And cast Booming Blade and try to hit the filament.
All right, sounds good.
23.
Wow. 23 hits the filament.
Nice, okay. So the radiant damage is going to do 2d6. And the attack's going to do 1d8.
What level?
It's a second level spell.
Oh, wow. All right.
That's going to do 12 points of damage.
So you very easily sever the filament.
Did it drop Bonnie?
It does. Bonnie is no longer grappled. Yeah, she's attached to some of this filament, but yeah, it's not attached to the creature anymore.
Thank you, Arthur.
A filament in need is a filament indeed. Anytime.
Adelaide's going to try to shoot him again with her arrow. That's an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
And she's going to use one of her arcane shots then. She's going to use Grasping Arrow on it. It's going to take... And this is just... It happens when the creature gets hit with the arrow. It takes some poison damage. Its speed gets reduced by 10 feet. And it takes... slashing damage the first time on each of its turns that it moves a foot or more without teleporting, but it can use its action to do a strength or athletics check to get out of it on its turn.
Do you get to choose an arcane shot after you fire?
It says you choose when the arrow hits the target.
Perfect. Excellent.
So it's these grasping poisonous brambles that just like start writhing around it.
Ooh, I love it.
So that's 6 piercing damage, and then it does 2d6 poison, which was fucking awful. 3 poison damage.
Okay, so it's kind of twitching and writhing against these brambles. And what were you saying, Arthur?
I was going to say, as well as the filament, it's going to take 1d8 thunder if it moves.
Oh, because the booming blade.
The filament itself is not a creature. You killed the filament. It is dead. There's no long-lasting effect.
Oh, I see. It's not attached anymore. It's just done.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just done. But it's not going to move, so that's not an issue.
And that's the end of my turn.
Then we're on to Bonnie.
So Bonnie, being out of range, just starts singing this horrible melody. It sounds just off and discordant and kind of makes your skin crawl a little bit. And I need another wisdom save from it.
Who hurt you?
Adelaide is not actually sure that Bonnie knows how to sing in tune at this point.
Do the rest of us have to make wisdom saves too from this awful tune?
It's only one. Actually, technically only it can hear it. So I guess no one else would hear it. She just makes noises that she's moving her mouth, nothing's coming out. And it takes... Ooh, what, Lev?
Nothing I want on camera.
You can't say something nice.
17 points of psychic damage from my 4d6.
Boom.
17, all right.
And that is my turn.
So it kind of twitches a bit, and it again rises against all of this, and two of its legs start to kind of twitch in against its body. It's very obviously being affected by all of this. It's starting to wear down.
Is it having second thoughts about attacking us?
So it is going to drop a new filament. That filament goes like spaghetti back into its mouth, and it shoots out a new one.
Oh, Logan, I apologize.
Okay.
You failed your save, so you must immediately use your reaction to move as far as your speed allows away from me, which means any of the movement stuff should go off.
Not necessarily.
Oh, shoot.
Because that's forced movement. What's the spell?
Mine are the one Wade used. Dissonant Whispers.
Okay, so the ruling is you provoke an opportunity attack, and that leads to all the other things. If you leave a foe's reach using your movement action or reaction. So yes, this will provoke all of that stuff. So go ahead. It starts skittering away down the hall and takes how much more damage?
2d6 slashing. 4. So 4 slashing from the brambles.
And then it will, on its turn and come skittering back. And it shoots out a filament and grabs Val. Val needs to make me a strength check.
That's another 5 slashing from the brambles.
Right. Jesus. All
right. Is it a strength save or a strength check?
It's a check. Athletics check against my spell save DC.
No. I meant for the filament.
Saving throw.
Did not roll great, so that's an 8.
Okay, so no, you are slurped up into a 5-foot square next to it, so you're kind of floating, being held by this filament right below it. It gets to make an attack as part of the opportunity attack, so that will be a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
For 9 points of slashing damage, and then it gets to make its normal 2 attacks. That's a nat 20. And that is a 2. So the crits will do 16 points more of slashing.
Okay, so Val passes out for a second and then pops back up at 1 hit point.
Half orcs for the win.
Half orcs?
Right. Holy shit.
And it's Val's turn.
It is Val's turn.
Treat yourself to some healing.
Yeah, that's on the to-do list. No worries.
Could I use my reaction when the creature grabbed Val and took her up?
What would have triggered what ability to react with?
Feather fall. Oh, she's not actively falling. Never mind.
But that's a good thing to remember.
Especially with her itty-bitty 1 hit point.
Right? Yeah, ouch. I am going to heal myself because I need to not die. So I'll cast Cure Wounds on myself.
So you do some mumbo jumbo, you put your hands on yourself, you heal yourself for
5 hit points, because I rolled crappy.
5 hit points.
But at least I'm above 1.
Yes. Mark!
Since Val is within 5 feet of it, I do not need advantage on the attack roll. However, I am still going to bonus action hide to attempt to get advantage on the attack roll.
Okay.
Not great. That is a total of 13.
I only got a 7, though.
Delightful. All right, I will go ahead and roll to attack at advantage. That is a 15 and a 4. So we are going to go with the 20 to hit, which I believe hits. 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 points of damage.
So you hit it and you shoot it right into where the filament is kind of hanging out of its mouth, sticks up against something inside of its mouth, and it kind of just starts to twitch, and then just lets go. All of its legs kind of fold in on itself, and Val and the creature start to fall.
I'm going to cast Featherfall on Val.
Casting Featherfall on Val. And that's fine. So she starts to slow fall. The creature falls much faster. The filament kind of starts to flop out and flail around. Lands and starts to land like a coiled sticky rope as she floats into this coiled rope pile gently and is now standing in this large pile of these sticky ropes.
Thanks, Bonnie. Also, ow.
Did Pugnut come with us?
No, he's waiting out at the cave. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
That's fine. I just didn't know if he was like, woo, yeah, kill it.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on Val at 2nd level.
Thank you.
Val regain 8 hit points.
Merrick is going to attempt to get his arrows back out of its chitinous form.
Remember, so you can only have a chance to recover arrows that are you missed with. If you hit with an arrow, it's dead.
Gotcha.
Despite what we and in the first episode.
Not to be teacher, can I have more homework? But the brambles are active for a minute. But Adelaide would have let go.
I was thinking once the creature is dead, it's no longer targeting a creature, so it probably stops.
Okay.
It's not just sitting there slicing at this dead body forever.
Yeah. It says otherwise the brambles last for a minute or until you use Arcane Shot again.
But that's fine. I mean, if you want to sit there and just like shred this thing to pieces, all its sticky goo comes flowing out.
Ew.
I'm good.
Ew.
I'm good. Thank you.
So Bonnie and Val have to sit and try to free themselves from these filaments. Eventually, it just takes prying them off, and it leaves kind of a residue that is not going to go away for a very long time until it gets dirty enough that it kind of becomes that sticky, dirty sticker kind of thing, or until you get it professionally cleaned.
Question: is the filament?
No prestidigitation will not work.
No, that wasn't my question. Is the filament usable? Like, is it still pretty strong and we could use it for something?
It is still sticky and filamenty, sure.
I start searching around on the ground for the 5th filament.
Is it love? Is it love, Mike?
You should take that one with us.
I'm going to start putting the filament into one of the sacks I have with me. I think I bought sacks. I meant to if I didn't.
Maybe make sure you wrap it in something so it doesn't just stick to the inside of whatever you put it in.
You have a handkerchief or something?
Okay, apparently I didn't buy sacks. Can I have bought some?
I have a backpack, but I would request you don't.
No. She's gonna put it in a sack so that it doesn't get all over everything, and then that's gonna go in another sack, and then it's gonna go in her bag.
Double bag it. Understood.
The problem is, I don't know if you ever tried to put anything really sticky into a bag. But as soon as you take some of it and grab it with the bag, the whole bag sticks to it. So you got to kind of try to peel the bag away from itself and get more of it in there. It just does not. It becomes a big sticky mess.
Okay, can I stop and rub some dirt on the filament so that it's not as sticky but still strong?
There's not a lot of dirt in here, but if you were to find something like that, sure.
Okay. Can I look dust, dirt, whatever?
You could turn the bag inside out and then wrap it around.
Like you're picking up dog poop?
Yeah. Again,
or a pillow.
That works until you try to get it back out.
Sure.
It sticks to itself so much that it becomes a big sticky mess. But we'll say that you get the filament in the sack enough to be able to close it without worrying too much about it.
Okay.
What you do with it at this point, we'll figure out. But
It's just a big mound of gross.
For our listeners at home, Heather is known for harvesting anything possible off of anything.
Waste not, want not.
You never know when it's going to be useful, and if we're going to kill it anyway, we might as well take some of the useful bits and pieces.
And you're strong, so you can carry all that shit you insist on bringing.
Also that.
Tell that to the 90 pounds of boule teeth and claws I still have in my bag of holding.
Hey, we haven't made it somewhere that we can use it for armor or something. Or sell it. That's the only reason we're still carrying it.
So Adelaide was going on to the monster and trying to peel off the arrow that she had shot, but it's just like turned into brambles. It's just like shredded into this like horrible mess of awful spikiness, but she's kind of grinning as she looks at the remnants of that arrow she shot.
I'm gonna leave and go outside and shout for Pugnut. Pugnut!
So from behind the cart, he kind of pops his head out. Oh, you're alive!
Yeah. You want to come take a look at this?
That sounds like a trap.
It's dead.
No, we killed it.
How do I know?
You could come look at it like I asked.
But it might eat me.
We need you to show us how to get to the Canyon of Fur. We don't want it to eat you.
If he got eaten by a dead thing, he wasn't destined to be alive.
Fantasy Darwin Award.
Oh, it has me.
he comes over and he kind of like looks at the bones on the ground, and he very tentatively comes into the cave, and finally comes and looks and goes, "Oh, I'm a hero."
Yes, you are.
He comes over and says, "Okay, I need that," and he's like points to one of the claws. Can you are you Chappy?
Yeah.
Or something?
Val will go. Oh, I was gonna say Val will go over with her scythe.
You're much stronger than me.
So you go over and you scythe it off. He picks up the claw and starts to kind of carry it over his shoulder. He wears it like his neck is inside the joint where it would close. The way like kind of like a torque or something.
I was gonna say, hey, Pugnut, do you want one of these legs? And she points at one of those thinner, spindly legs as like a cane or a sword or something.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
All right, I'll cut a couple of those off. And she takes her scythe and cuts a couple of the legs off and hands them to him.
So he'll start carrying all that back with you guys to the city.
Yeah. She's gonna cut the other ones off for us.
All right.
To do with whatever we want, as well as the head.
What were you gonna say, Arthur?
I was gonna ask Pugnut so we're on the same page. Are you going to claim that you killed this?
Oh, hell no. I'm going to claim that I found you that killed it. And that makes me a hero.
That works.
Very well. Thank you.
Knowing where to find the resources is just as important as doing the job.
Very true.
I tell my wife every time.
There's probably a lot of wooden coins in this for you.
Oh, maybe. So, you guys head to back into town, and as soon as he gets into town, people recognize the claws, and they all start rushing over, and they eventually put him up on the shoulders, and he does tell them that you're the one that killed it, but because he's the one that found you guys, he kind of becomes a little, because they don't want to celebrate you. You're not goblins. He becomes a little bit of a folk hero, and there's a little bit of a celebration over the next few hours, so you do get kind of stuck there while he just can't get away to help you move to the next area. So do you join in the celebration, or do you... I'm
going to attempt to steal some, or Merrick is going to attempt to steal some of the gourds of smush wine.
To drink, or?
Take back as a delicacy.
To take with us.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
That is another 23. Rolling a lot of 16s today.
Merrick, you should gather one with a stopper on it so that we can bring it up to the surface.
He's not pulling open ones off the tables.
All right, so you give me a sleight of hand check also.
That is much less good. 16.
All right, so 16. So that's 5 by 5, 3. So go ahead and so you get 3 of these gourds. And again, they look like almost like dumbbells, so like a kind of a handle in the center, 2 little bulbousy parts on the top. They're kind of stoppered with a cork. These all 3 are sealed with wax. So you've got 3 bottles of smush wine.
Adelaide is gonna go try to find the goblin that looked like Pugnut's boss, like the foreman or whatever from the mushroom thing.
Sure. You'll find him.
And she's gonna pull out what she was sketching in her journal, and it's basically like this schematic for like a radio flyer wagon to sort of show him that there's like, you can have like an axle and a handle so you can push and move so you don't have to like stop before you turn stuff.
All right. He absolutely thanks you.
She makes sure to sign the schematics, courtesy of the Birchfield Institute.
Well done.
Tell your friends.
So he, in exchange, gives you a small vial of alcohol.
Ooh.
He says, "Oh, I got something for you. Thank you. This will be very nice." And he says, "This is something I make myself. It's called sticky mud.
Sticky mud. God, okay.
Is it actually sticky?
Only a little.
Okay.
Is it actually mud?
That's the better
I
question.
think you're off stealing shit." But he gives you a little vial of it. It says keep the vial, and he thanks you for the schematics, and he goes and starts getting his guys to work on a new sort of cart system.
That'd be mostly how Adelaide was spending the party, making sure he understands all the parts of it. Like
Bonnie will pick up her violin, and if there's any sort of music, attempt to join in.
There absolutely is.
Yeah, Val would join in with the celebration a little bit, but she's not gonna be like in the middle of it or anything. She's probably on the outskirts sipping on some smush wine.
During that time, you guys definitely get a short rest in.
Cool.
Not sure if you want to make a long rest here in the Goblin City, although you'd probably be safe.
The nicest place.
That would be what I'd actually like.
To sleep. There is no inn or anything like that. Does anybody want to do a long rest here?
Val would like to.
So would Bonnie, as I am out of spells.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, she'll set up her tent somewhere or whatever.
You guys work out an agreement to sleep in the barn at the inn. It's not really a barn. It's just kind of an extra building they have with storage, and they let you stay there.
Only the best for the heroes.
And even though you guys aren't being celebrated, that and your drinks for the night don't actually cost you anything.
Cool.
So you guys stay, party a little bit. Pugnut says that he'll take you to the Fur Canyon of Fur in the morning. And you guys sleep, and the next morning he does as he's promised and takes you on to this canyon. So the canyon is kind of a misnomer because you're underground. It's not technically a canyon, but they call it that. There's no real way to walk up along the edge of it, so he takes you down this path, and it takes about a half an hour to get there. And you can see that there's been this like entryway of this canyon. It just kind of opens up into this wider crevice that you're going to be walking through. But there is white and brown patch fur that has been kind of put up and down each side, and a little makeshift wooden or viney archway filled with fur all the way around it. And you can tell it's similar construction to what was back in the village of Smushtown. He says, well, there you go. This is it. Canyon of Fur.
Where'd the fur come from?
Oh, that's what we've found here towards the entrance and the different creatures. I mean, you stay here long enough, you'll see them running around.
Are they as friendly as you guys?
Nope.
Good to know. Thanks for your time and your help, Pugnut. Glad we could help you with that pension issue.
Appreciate it. If you come back through, look me up.
Will do.
Definitely.
Good luck. And he leaves.
Thank you.
Bye.
So good job, everyone.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
God damn it, I was trying to write the word gnome and I wrote huzzah. Damn it.
Hello, fans of Critical Role. Do you mean to make your music more melodious? Do you seek to sing like Scanlan Shorthalt? Well, look no further than Crosswords, a new video series from the creator of the Critical Role Hamilton mashup album. And also this song. Crosswords with Will Crossway. Advice and analysis for the musician at the gaming table. Available on nerdsmith.org or wherever you watch your YouTube videos. YouTube, right? Probably YouTube.